Bueno, bueno. We here. The first ever Behind the Jokes, hosted by Juan the comedian. Feeling good on a good day. My first guest ever. Represent. What's your name?
I'm Bernie Onassis, also known as That Kid from Concord, representing North Concord, trying to put North Concord on the comedy map.
See, she giving you her real name. I didn't know that, Ruth.
It's my slave name.
For the stalkers, now you got a real name. So, what made you get into comedy?
Well, what made me get into comedy? I got fired from my job, and seemed to be that life was just shitting on me, losing relationships, and I figured that if I'm going to talk shit about what I'm going through, then I think I need to start trying to get paid for it. So here I am.
What kind of comedians do you look up to?
Every comedian I ever looked up to was one that wasn't as mainstream as others. For example, Chris Farley and Jim Carrey and Adam Sandler, guys like that weren't famous just yet, were who I liked for their physical comedy, improv, and
So you more of a Living Color, Saturday Night, how they acted out. You like stuff like that?
Yeah, I like when comedians use their bodies to make people laugh. So throwing themselves on the ground, or dressing up as, a woman, or a female dressing up as a man, or, bringing kids involved, and using your body to make people laugh has always been something that I admired.
You don't think enough males has been dressing up as females? Enough male comedians?
Well, it's a safe zone. I feel like dressing up as a woman has been safe. However, when Jim Carrey dressed up as a woman, he was also portraying a strong woman. Jim Carrey wasn't that buff that when he was playing the female, I don't remember her name, but with the pigtails, he seemed to be more muscular than any of his other skits. So I felt like he was trying to make that woman strong, the woman that he was portraying.
A masculine female?
Yeah, not necessarily trash or,
How long have you been doing comedy?
I grew up in a family of comics. Comedy was what my family had to go through to get through a lot of the shit we went through. So if you couldn't laugh in my family, then you couldn't hang. So I feel like comedy has always been like the air that I breathe.
Ooh, dropping stuff.
Slippery when wet.
See, it's crazy. It's getting dangerous in here.
It's Bernie Onassis, boy.
Dropping alcohol, trying to grab the blunt, trying to listen to her. This is crazy. So your family is a funny family, and y'all got humor in your family.
My cousin Michael McDonald on my mom's side, people know him as Stuart from Mad TV. He's famous. I don't have any comedians on my dad's side, but my dad was one of 19, grew up in the South, and so there was probably a whole lot of loose humor, making something out of nothing every day.
Do you believe that comedians have to go through something, or most comedians went through something in life for them to become a comedian?
I've always thought that comedy comes from pain, and I don't think that's everybody's situation. Not everybody that enjoys comedy enjoys the comedy I like. Slapstick is my favorite, and then political is probably about my last. So there's levels. So I think the comedians, I know for a fact the comedians that I liked, following their stories, went through some form of trauma and hard times before they even got on stage, because they use that as fuel to make people laugh. And Robin Williams, Chris Farley suffered major depressions making people laugh any way that they could, but they were hurting so much inside, but were able to make so many people from all races and beliefs laugh.
What about you? Have you been through stuff in life and you use that for your comedy?
Oh yeah, I used the fact that my dad was in the war, came back all fucked up, and his trauma. I used my race, being mixed race and growing up and having a country dad and a super white mom, and having to find your identity in a world that's pretty closed-minded. So that's just on my parents' side. And then, there's a lot of stuff that I went through as a kid that makes me just want to laugh at what I've been through, because unfortunately there's so many people who are afraid to laugh at what they go through. If you're going to go through something, you might as well make a joke out of it.
Learn how to find a positive about it.
And not let it sit in your heart. Laughing releases dopamine and endorphins in our brain that make us happy. Same thing that drugs does. Laughing also increases your heart rate. It makes your blood flow.
Do you know if you just smile, that them dorfamines? I'm adding two things. Yeah. Dorfamines. All right, like I was saying, do you know them dorfamines? If you smile, that's all you need. Just a smile. That's all it takes. That's what I tell people. You frown and stuff all the time. And first off, it don't look good on you. And then second off, it's like nothing wrong with smiling. It does something to you in your inside, you know? It make you feel better just in the inside, just from literally smiling.
People that laugh harder got tighter stomachs.
Some
people always ask me, how you keep your stomach so flat? Like, I just laugh, bro. Like, how people, oh, my stomach hurts when you laugh hella hard? That's because that's exercise.
Hey, this is crazy. See, we learning science, too. We learning jokes and science, all right?
My face hurts. Well, because you hold, all the muscles are working in your face and your stomach when you're laughing.
So what about all the fat people that laugh all the time? Their stomach ain't.
Yeah, but when fat people laugh, they everything is working like a shake weight.
So they're not just concentrating on the stomach?
No, everything's getting worked. It's working. They just need to laugh more.
Hey, so what we trying to say is, y'all fat people, you want to lose weight, just come to our shows.
Laugh, bro.
And we're going to laugh that fat off of you.
They got.
You don't
need to go to no gym, bro.
Yeah, forget the gym. We're going to laugh the fat off of you, all right? You're going to be in your chair sweating, pouring out with all that fat.
Drink booty sweat.